quick stats for you guys before we get started. Austin FC is now 8-1-1 over its last 9 matches at Q2 Stadium with 24 goals scored and 6 allowed. Tonight's sellout marks the 22nd consecutive at Q2, which remains the longest active sellout streak in Major League Soccer. And then lastly, once more, as it relates to the suspension of Cecilia Dominguez, out of fairness to the ongoing MLS investigation, the club will not have any additional comment at this time. For questions about tonight's match, we have Austin FC head coach Josh Wolff, and we'll start with Eric. Eric?
Josh, congrats on the win. Is Diego the fittest player you've ever worked with?
He's one of them. I mean, Felipe covered 15,500 meters the other night, which is off the charts. I mean, I know we played extra time. Diego was behind him, but only by 1,000 meters. Diego's a special player. He's got quality. He's got energy. There's a selflessness about him that's really clear. Again, I was really proud of the guys all week. I mean, these 3 performances were deserving of 3 points. Slow start in D.C., but awesome reaction and response in the second half. San Antonio, again, we're all disappointed about losing the Open Cup, but we had so many opportunities to put that game to bed and didn't, and that's what the Open Cup is. It's challenging, and they build a little bit of momentum, and we weren't able to get the win. But tonight was awesome. Guys came back to Q2, and I told them beforehand, a little cup of Q2, and you guys will be just fine. And they came out and performed, and the energy's right. The fans are awesome. They give us such a big lift, and the performance was reflective of that. Diego gives us a good calm. Maxi's efforts tonight were off the charts, absolutely off the charts. And it starts with those guys up top, and not just Maxi and Sebastian, but Ethan asking him to do a little different role tonight based on what the opponent does. And Diego, again, doing a good job. So, glad to see the shutout. That's a big part of tonight as well. But, very controlling performance, mature, responsible, and 3 goals. I always want more. These guys won't stop hearing that from me. But glad to get the 3 points and keep the momentum at Q2.
Yeah, Josh, can you speak to the difference in like the confidence that you see from this squad playing here at Q2, the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of a game, and how that kind of sparks things for you? Yeah,
it's nice. I mean, we want to start in a in a very aggressive manner. You come out with energy, you come out with life, and it's a big, you can talk about it, but you got to go do it. It's not being you can talk words, but it's actions, and our guys have had a very good, over the last 9 games, 10 games, as Ryan rattled off. It's the understanding of playing in front of our fans at home, what that really means. But the start of games in general have been pretty solid, even on the road, pretty responsible, pretty, we have our match plans, and guys, by and large, the guys do a great job sticking to that script. But we want to jump on teams quick here. We want to put them under pressure. We want to make them feel that pressure, and you do that by moving the ball, getting behind the line, and getting in front of goal as much as you can, as often as you can, and then smothering them. And again, I think once we grabbed the goals tonight, it was tough for them to get the ball back, and now you want to make them suffer. And again, get your goals when you can to try to kill off the game.
And I think it's been mentioned in passing quite a few times, but how much has Maxi brought to this group, both on the field? Obviously, you see his contributions, but off the field, just how much do the guys gravitate toward him? You can see with the celebrations, how much fun they're having. But
yeah, I think that's a big part of success in this league. I've been in this league a long time, and camaraderie, locker room, the off-field, activities that are even on their own accord. I think they do plenty of those. That was last year. It was a big challenge. COVID was a big challenge, something that I wasn't really aware of or prepared for, and I don't think any of us were. It was a challenge, but we made some adjustments, and obviously we brought in other players, different quality, different character, different personalities, and I think we're reaping the rewards of that. But we get a great foundation of what we want to be about, and the way that we want to play our football, and that's clear. And then when you introduce guys like Maxi and Ethan and certainly Ruben, and we've added leadership quality, much needed depth, and now you're getting to where you're at, and guys come in and compete game in and game out, 3 games in a week. The performances don't drop, and we got to keep building off. There's still plenty to work on. But we'll keep pushing forward. He might have been. I got lit up. He had about 30 welts on his body. I don't know. He's running through there without his shirt on. He took a beating the other day. So did I. But a shirt on, it doesn't quite nick you as much. But they're a lively group. They're energetic. They're kids. They have a good time, and we'll give them a couple days off. It was a long week, and let them enjoy it. And they deserve it. They've worked tirelessly, and but that's part of it. That's 100% part of what brings you together as a family and a group, and really proud of them.
Yeah, congrats, Coach. Just speaking of Maxi, how good of a fit is he for how you want your team to play, like stylistically?
Well, I think he's quite good, and I think with the combination of Sebastian, their energy to, again, it's taken some time to get them to fully understand defensively how we want to work and how we want to minimize certain parts of the field and how we build pressure. I mean, that's what we talk about when we defend. But the effort and energy, Maxi's been a guy, and again, I first saw Maxi when I went to down to Argentina when I was with DC. So I've known him and seen him and saw him in this league for a number of years. His work rate has always been off the charts. His back pressing has been something that we've always talked about. So when the opportunity was there to get him, we immediately had conversations with players and directly with him. So he fits it well. Again, our defending starts with our front 3-4 guys. And then that player also has to be able to arrive in front of goal, stretch the line, be able to link play up as well. The understanding, familiarity, familial effect that Diego, Sebastian, Maxi, they have. You can see it, you can sense it. They play in a different tempo at times. Their combination play, but he's doing a great job. I think it's been an excellent fit for him and what we want to do, and he's got to keep pushing his performances. There's a higher level for him, and I don't know what his highest goal total was for a year, but we want to challenge that. We want to push that.
When you look at the off season and everything that the personnel department did, like yourself, Claudio, all the scouting, every single player you brought in and drafted has had a really, really positive impact. Just how impressive is what you all did in the off season? Just thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. It was kind of you. No, it's part of the job. I think we in year one, we wanted to lay out what we were doing. It was littered with injuries and difficulty playing 9 of 10 on the road. So you don't duck that, and I was never going to have excuses. We wanted to establish our identity. I think we did that in a good way. We created a boatload of chances. We weren't able to finish it off. We made some adjustments during the year, bringing in Sebastian and Musa. That helped our product in the second half of the season. And then obviously right away we know what the second year is going to look like, where our needs were, where our gaps were from year one. So a little bit of character, a little bit of leadership, but also quality and depth. And Ruben comes in and does a great, Ruben, Johan Valencia, Maxi, Ethan, Felipe, again, stewards of the game, but leaders, winners, champions. And we play a certain way, and it's positionally based, but I also want these guys to have fun and have a little bit of freedom, and as long as they understand our principles of play, I think there's plenty of room to keep developing and growing. But you want them to enjoy it, and the off season was good for us, but short. We're 8 games in. We've got a long ways to go, and we'll enjoy tonight and get ready for a derby against Houston.
Josh, this might be me overthinking, but just wanted to ask to see Musa. He's been a bit absent from minutes lately. Does that have anything to do with the fact that he observes Ramadan and may have some dietary restrictions during this time?
It's that he is in Ramadan. He is dealing with that, but it's about performances. So for Danny, he's done a great job getting fit, getting strong, competing and training the last 4 months. So. That's what it comes down to. I won't ever pull away from that. You earn minutes by the way that you train and the way that you play, and then you got to show up on game days and perform as well. And if you get 5 minutes, how can you be impactful? And if you get 30 minutes, how can you get a start? What's that look like? So Musa's doing fine. We've obviously got to be mindful of his situation, but he's an experienced pro. He's been dealing with that his whole life, so he has his own routine. And our high performance department is constantly looking out for him from a physical standpoint for sure. But you got to perform to play. That's the way I look at it.
Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank
They
you.
say in sports you never let an off night beat you twice.
I love that quote. If you asked my guys that, you would have heard that. I said the exact same words. I like
See,
the way
there
you
you go.
think.
So coming off of Wednesday, obviously tonight they came out hard charging. They dominated. Speak for a second about what was said maybe during the week in the locker room to, I guess forget what happened on Wednesday and come out like they did tonight.
Yeah, I think it was a unique week. We played three teams that played basically a 3-4-3. They had a little bit different variations and twists to that, but I think Wednesday, don't forget about it. Use it as fuel. They were pissed off. I was pissed off. We all were. It was disappointing. We should have won the game. We put plenty of into that game, and in the end, I had one player out there that went 120 and was going to start tonight, and that was Diego. So I knew we had freshness. I knew we had enough legs in the tank. And again, you want to come here and start well, start strong, and push the tempo, put them under pressure, and grab goals. And that's, after that, it's about smothering and killing off the game. But the reaction and response all week was great. Second half, late in DC, the resiliency, hanging in there, grinding in San Antonio. And again, there were plenty of opportunities to pull that result. And tonight, doing a real responsible job, grabbing goals, not giving them a whole lot. They had a good chance at the beginning of the second half, but, really pleased with the overall responsibility, maturity that the group showed. And, being at Q2 needs to be difficult for opponents, and that's what we're focusing on. Tonight was another example of that.
Hey, Coach.
Hello.
You said right now, I always want more, keep them coming, talking about goals.
Yeah.
How do you continue this in Houston? Big game coming up as well. So how do you keep that momentum going?
Well, I think you prepare. Preparation is what I think puts players in a really good place. There's our process of reviewing how we want to train. What are the details that we want to go into next week? We'll dive into that in the next couple of days. But, they're a good team. I watched them play Dallas today. They were very, very good in the first half, and we're unlucky to let that game slip away. So it'll be a difficult opponent. It's a derby, and, they're well coached. Paolo's done a great job. And we'll have our hands full going on the road. Got to be responsible. Got to have ways to hurt the opponent. And again, it's putting ourselves in a position to come away with points. But we'll start focusing them in a couple days.
I've also noticed fans from other MLS teams starting to notice Austin FC and, how good this team is. What would you say to them, or what is this club's identity compared to how it's been developing throughout? I guess, I don't know. It's year 2, right? So,
Yeah, I think the identity's been clear from the onset. I think now we're certainly, putting more productivity to the way we play. I think there's much more validation and believability to the way that we play. The players have better understanding. It's a deeper group. And we've performed well, and regardless of the opponents, which we had to hear early on, regardless of being home and away, we performed pretty strong, and we got to continue to push those ideas, our principles, our ideas, and you can't win enough. And again, I think that's winning mentality, making it a habit is something that we've talked a little bit about. But the guys are in a good place, so we'll take a little bit of confidence from this. Obviously, it's been a strong week. It's been a lengthy week, and then we'll get ready for Houston. But you get respect from the league by consistency, by doing it over and over and over, and on the road and at home. So that's part of this journey as well.
Yeah, you mentioned scouting Maxi down in Argentina. What do you remember about him then? When was that? How close were you guys to landing him? And what's the difference?
He didn't play. He didn't play in the games. He was with Newell's and Tata, and there were a couple games. They got red card early in the game, so we didn't get to play. So we were down there for 10 days, which isn't the worst thing either. But we saw some other games, other players, and Maxi's great. I've watched him in this league long enough. I know exactly who he is and what he's about. And once you meet him, you see even the human side, the quality of the character, and sweet person, and does an awesome job, bringing the best out of Sebastian and Diego and certainly many of the other domestic players. But it's a good group that we have, and it's a very connected group, which is great to see.
Yeah, is there something beyond his production that's allowed him to stick in this league for so long?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Is there something beyond his production, his goal scoring, that's allowed him to stick in this league? What's the reputation that he has around the league?
That would be something for our media. I think you guys can do some research and snoop around and see what that is. He's a good player. I think that's part of it. He's a good player. He needs to be believed in. He needs to have a very clearly defined role, and I think he needs to fit into the players that he's playing alongside. Certainly the philosophy of the club matters, so I think a lot of those things probably line up for him here. But at the end of the day, you got to work, you got to compete, and you got to produce. And right now, he's nailing that. And he's a fantastic human being as well.
Just a quick one. Former Chiefs coach Dick Vermeil used to say, it's important to keep losing teams losing. When you see Vancouver coming in with a record like that, is that something you say, okay, if we jump on early, they're down, or is it just kind of you're focused on your club?
Yeah, I mean, we're mostly focused on us. We go in with our game plan and our match plan, and have an idea of what things should give them problems. What are we worried about them? And I mean, at home it's about being aggressive, getting on top of the opponent quickly, putting them under pressure, grabbing goals, which we've done a really good job at home of scoring earlier, at least first 10, 20 minutes, and now suppressing that and squeezing the life out of the opponent. And yes, they are having a difficult year, and there's been other teams that are difficult year or better year, but it's the same approach for me. We have a process, a routine, and preparation gets these guys in the spot to really be ready to perform their individual role and the team ideas, and that's, I think, more than anything over majority of our games, the execution and the strategy has been fantastic, and now how you kill off games, those things are also relevant. So it's been a good start. 8 games. So we got a long ways to go.
One last one. Bon Jovi's in town. What's your favorite Bon Jovi song?
I don't know, man. Wanted, Dead or Alive. There's many Bon Jovis. My band's U2, so if U2 happens to come here or Bono's in town, please let me know. That's my crush. U2 is it for me. But Bon Jovi's great. I watched John Mayer the other night. He was nice too. It was nice. They didn't have any lemonade in their thing. It was tough. It was amazing. It was open for like 3 days or something, right? Gotta work on that lemonade.
All right, thanks everyone.
All right, guys.
Just clearing that up for all of y'all. No español, lo siento. Entiendo mucho. Hablo un poquito. We did this last time and it was really loud. Okay. Oh, thanks, Spence. I didn't see you down there. What's up?
So when you have a team like Vancouver that's coming in that's off to a slower start, just how important was that to get, the goal in the 11th minute and maybe kind of keep them from getting any kind of momentum at all?
Yeah, after being in this league for so long, you learn that there's really no easy game. There's so much parity, and no matter what kind of form a team is in, they pose different challenges. And going up against Vancouver is always difficult. You could see that they had a lot of energy, and they wanted to press us extremely high. Getting that first goal and getting it so early kind of settled us down and gave us the opportunity to really unlock them a little bit. And it gives us a little more calmness when we play, when we can unlock it so early.
I was gonna ask Maxi this, but maybe answer. So
We'll find out.
I was gonna ask about the post-goal celebrations. I think a new one was unlocked. We've got
Oh,
that one,
did he do
snake
the
one,
the snake?
The snake, and then the archer. Is that
So
all
the-
Maxi, or
so
who's coming up with
The
those?
archer is Maxi's like signature. He's been doing that his entire time in the league. Like you can go back and see all of the goals that he scored in this league, and that's like his signature one. This one, I have no idea where that came from, but guys started doing it like in the very first game, and it just kind of continued. And then once again, I have no idea where the snake came from, but we're doing it all the time at the training facility. Like they just look at you and they just go. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but cool. So, I mean, hopefully he has a better answer. I'm just kind of watching it all unfold.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Those things crack me up.
I want to kind of channel your Minister of Culture a little bit, Matthew McConaughey. Like, seems like you're having a lot of fun. Like, obviously, you talked about the dancing and everything, but what are the vibes like, man? Is there a higher level of just positivity right now and kind of in the team overall?
So it helps when you get results.
Right.
I think last year we were struggling to find those results, but we were still playing the same type of soccer. Like we were having the moments of like really good play. We were having the moments, but we just couldn't get the finished product. We couldn't get the results. So it was like it wore on you, you know? And I think coming in this year, bringing in guys like Maxi, bringing in guys like Felipe, Ethan, Ruben, all of these guys are so experienced and they're so good in the locker room that they've been through so much that they're just so lighthearted. I mean, Maxi's a clown. Ruben is probably the funniest guy that I've had in a locker room. He just loves to talk. But it's just one of those where coming off of Wednesday, it was a difficult moment for us. We were all a little upset. Coming into this game, we knew that we had to make things right, and we had to continue making Q2 the fortress that it should be.
You mentioned Maxi's a clown, and obviously he scored a couple goals tonight. Like, what about him makes him a unique player in that regard? Maybe not like he's scoring goals, but also off the field. Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been around the league. He's been to a number of teams, so he's been able to acclimate himself to different areas. For him coming here, obviously he has Sebastian Derusi, who's also Argentinian, so automatically they had that kind of bond together. They kind of do everything together. They're attached at the hip. But it's fun to see. It's fun to see just him like bring guys out of their shell, just kind of joke around and just kind of be more fun, be more lighthearted. And you can tell on the field it makes a big difference.
Brett, over here. Got you. Last year you were leading the league in saves, I think pretty much from day one to the very end. You know, you're under so much pressure constantly. And this year it's different. You're still getting clean sheets, but you're having to do yourself a little bit less work to do that. In what ways is it, have these games been different for you? And is it more difficult keeping yourself sharp in those moments, versus last year when you were getting called into action, it seemed like every 10 minutes.
Well, I'm extremely thankful this year. I think overall our collective defending has been fantastic this year. Some little tweaks that we made in the off season where Josh identified what we needed to do better, how we could position players differently to kind of limit the amount of chances that the other teams are getting, has been good. For me, it's a little bit different because you're not always kind of under the gun, so you're back there thinking a lot. My brain is constantly going, trying to figure out like who needs to go where, what could happen, worst case scenario. Last year I was just kind of throwing my body around, hoping like keeping the ball out of the net. So it's a little bit different this year, but it's something that I'm very thankful for. And I mean, as a collective group, I'm so happy that these guys have kind of bought in and we're doing so well. I mean, that was our 3rd shutout. We had 5 total last year, so it's a big difference.
Brad, I mentioned this to Josh earlier, and he says he's used this quote to you guys before. They say in sports, you never let an off night beat you twice. You mentioned how upset you guys were after Wednesday night. How quick did you forget about Wednesday night because you guys came out and pretty much dominated the entire match?
Yeah, that's a good quote. I like that one. For us, I mean, you don't truly get over something like that. I mean, the Open Cup is something special. We were going against an in-state team that, like, you want to beat, you want to continue on in the tournament. So it's difficult to switch your mindset pretty quick. But I think our guys, like, as soon as we got into training, we kind of focused all of our attention on Vancouver, did our best to put that behind us, use that to fuel us a little bit. I mean, I don't know how Diego's still walking, but he's went 90, 120, and then I think he went 80 minutes tonight. For him to still be on his feet, I have no idea what's going on. But it just shows the collective heart, the collective willingness to persevere and to continue on. And like I said, this group has that attitude of one bad night isn't going to define us. We're going to put that behind us, and we're going to use that to keep us going. And now it's 3 wins in a row for us in MLS, which if you've been covering MLS, that's very rare. To stay undefeated at home is something we're really proud of, and we hope to continue it on.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about Maxi. Like, I think you hear it all the time. It's it kind of almost becomes cliche about a guy like that, about how good of a locker room guy he is. But, like, has it made more sense to you, like, getting to know him a little bit? Take us behind the scenes a little bit of, is he inviting guys out? Is it, what does he do that makes him such a glue guy?
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, him and DeRussi are always together. Argentinians stick together. I mean, we have our South American contingent. They drink their mate every day. Like, they sit around in the locker room and drink their daily mate, play cards together. This year we've done a lot more team bonding stuff, just like stuff together as a team. Obviously COVID has been a little bit lower, so we're able to like go out and do things. We've had team barbecues at the facility where Maxi and Felipe actually barbecue. They actually cook the meat, and they actually have like a little Brazil versus Argentina, which barbecue is better and whatever. So we've done that a couple times.
Do you have an opinion on that?
I'm not going to say that out loud, but I would definitely lean more toward Maxi's. Yeah. Last time Maxi's was better. He had a chimichurri that was really good. But no, it's just been good. Like, we've been able to stay together as a team, go to dinner, hang out at people's houses. Just overall, just the camaraderie is a little bit more organic, I would say. I mean, last year, all of us were coming from different teams, and like, we were all trying to get to know each other. This year, we had our core group come back, and we just added a couple pieces. So it was more just kind of integrating those few guys, and we had a year under our belt. So.
And like, he's just stuck around this league for so long. I guess what is he kind of like? Has he been like? How much would you credit Maxi for like some of the togetherness, some of the, the celebrations is like a visual representation right at that. But like,
I mean, just his attitude, I would credit him a lot. I mean, we had a good locker room last year. Results weren't going our way, but adding pieces like that, just bringing in that lightheartedness, that funness, can really turn everyone's mentality into something different. So instead of just one guy being happy all the time, it's like, it's contagious, it's infectious. He just has that personality where people gravitate toward him and kind of feed off of his energy. And that's why he's been able to stay in this league for so long. I'm sure there are people out there that doubted when he came here if he was going to make such an impact, but for us, he's exactly what we needed. His work ethic on the field, his off the field camaraderie, and obviously he's scoring goals for us, so he's been fantastic.
Brad, the city of Austin is a welcoming city. Visitors come here all the time. you guys are putting some beatdowns on some teams that come in here. Where's the Southern hospitality?
That leaves as soon as the whistle blows. As soon as we'll hang out with them after the game and show them around how cool Austin is. But for those 90 minutes inside the lines, there's no friends, there's no nothing.
Where does that kind of no mercy attitude come from?
It's just sports. For us, we want to make Q2 someplace that people fear coming. I think our fans showed last year that they can make it a formidable place. We have to do our job on the field to amplify that. So when we do win 5-0, 5-1, 3-0, and we hold on to shutouts at home, people start saying, oh, wow, okay, so the team is good on the field and our crowd is insane off the field. So how are you going to come to Q2 and get a result when both those things are clicking? For us, it was just kind of catching up to the fervor of our fans.
Any other questions for Brad? All good? Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you. Thanks, Maxie.
You guys are welcome. You're very welcome. Why is there a ball pump up here? Why is there a ball pump? Spence, is that you?
We were doing a